Relocating is more than just logistics, it's also emotional. And you'll make this choice based on your lifestyle, the areas of France that you might know, but mainly the people. We're going to talk about all of these things, how to relocate, whether you be 35 or 65, in this next section with Jade Milin, one of our senior paralegal members of our team, and discover what the differences are potentially with emotional and connection with different parts of France. So without any further ado, let's go and sit down with Jade.
So Richard, tell us, when is a good time to start the transition to go live in France?
Good question, Jade. I think most of our clients probably look at start their journey, many, many years before. At least from an emotional standpoint, they plan this, for a long time. And then there's usually always a stage where, okay, this is happening because something's happened. Yeah. And unfortunately, it's a bit like there's a health scare, there's, a change in the economy, there's a change in their job situation, there's something that happens in their family, and that's the trigger moment. But from that trigger moment, I would say, ideally, we will always say, start working with us between 12 and at the latest 6 months before you plan to move.
Okay.
To reduce the stress level.
Sure. Always
the more time
better.
We have. Yeah.
What do you think about people relocating when they're older, maybe like more than 60?
So retirement, I guess early retirement is something that's often touched upon because when we're talking about relocation opposed to second home owning, usually will mean that you're on the end of your working life. That might be consultancy or you're slowing down.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for people that are relocating as a retirement prospect is getting the infrastructure ready for the next 10, 15, 20 years of their life. So making sure that they have the right medical coverage, the right infrastructure for that lifestyle that they want, their connection to maybe family and transport back to their own country.
Yeah.
And how does that affect their ability to live somewhere longer term? And of course, at the heart of it is where to live.
Exactly.
For a lot of people that have been working very hard to get to this point, they might have only visited a few places in Europe, for instance. So as always, it comes back to the first question. The timeline was just enough time to prepare.
Okay. And what type of advice would you give to people? Like there is the moving, but there is rebuilding your life and your whole lifestyle and what you like to do in France. So how would you do it?
Again, I mean, that comes down, I believe, to a lot of the preparation into this. And I'm not talking about the admin side of things, which clearly we're here to help with. But what I do see, I think in a previous episode, Juliet touched upon it. A lot of our clients feel at home because of other people, not because of the region, the area.
It's who you are with, not where you are.
Pretty much. I guess I agree. It really is that. But quite often it's in the emotional connection that drives you to feel at home.
Yeah.
The concept of luxury. I've always in the past worked for luxury brands when I had a real job, right? And one of the definitions of luxury when you go to nice hotels or nice cruise lines, nice service, nice car manufacturers, etc., is this feeling of having a personal touch, which I think is even more probant in this day and age of AI, of technology.
Yeah.
Really, it's the connection with people that makes things real and makes you want to be somewhere and makes you feel at home.
It's true.
You notice in a luxury hotel, they'll be saying welcome back, welcome home.
That's true.
And it's this very small thing, but it makes a big, big difference. And I think wherever you choose to relocate, it is about building that network of people and thinking about your hobbies and your interests. And that's where we see so many mistakes being made, I think, You know, people are driven by the houses over the actual community or what their hobbies and interests are. And without wanting to be a therapist, I think you're going to be a different person potentially in another country.
Yeah.
So you don't yet know what that change in you is going to bring.
It's true.
You know, how your priorities going to shift. We're talking about over 60s. Well, that means that you were working full time.
Yeah.
You're maybe not used to be a retiree yet, and you maybe don't want to be. So I think there's the whole psychological kind of aspect to this, but a lot of it and the heart of it is back due to communication and to people. We very humbly try to bring a little bit of that connection into that. And I think you'll have found working with French Connections, you know, it's very much run as a business that's close to its clients and close to people.
Really close, yeah.
And as teams, you know, we try to bring that, because I think, you know, you can't fake the fact that it is all about the connections.
It is. So talking about connections, how would you advise someone moving to France about finding a doctor, or like on the administrative side? Like what would...
Well, first and foremost, without wanting to plug ourselves too much, guys, here we do have our VIP package, which can be taken for a year at a time. We also have a new service that we'll be launching with French Tax Online for second homeowners that helps with admin and things like that, utilities, etc. But a lot of the services that I advise for people that are doing this by themselves will be to use local insurance companies, things like doctors, of course, in France, making sure that you understand what the technologies and facilities are available. Doctor Libre, for instance, is a great app where you can find all of the doctors in France. It's important to mention that things are different in France. You are referred to by your general practitioner to a specialist. You don't go straight to the specialist.
Yeah.
I mean, you've lived in America and in
Yes.
France and grown up in France. So, I mean, hopefully at your young age, you haven't had to suffer too many health issues whilst abroad, but it's such a different process, right?
Way more expensive.
And it's very much more
US.
expensive. So paying off the shelf in France is a lot more achievable. But again, it comes down to a lot of preparation, stuff that, of course, we can help with, but things that people manage to do alone as well. So let's talk about buying a property. One of the things that you're going to have to worry about is transferring money to the notaire in France. That's when our partnership with Wise comes along. You're able to open up an account in just a few clicks, transfer money, hold currency, and also order your debit card and set up your direct debits, as well as just use it as pretty much everyday banking until you open up a high street French account. So why not try Wise? Go in the description box below and you'll find how to open up your account. But also, if you need any help, you can just reach out to a member of our team.
So what if I were an American artist or hobbyist wanted to move to France?
So, well, that is actually, you know, a really key topic here. If you are looking to do a activity on French soil, you're going to need to have the right visa.
Of course.
For those watching in the US, Australia, UK, our regimes of business are very similar in the English-speaking world. And essentially, you can be a sole proprietor, sole trader. I forget the term in Australian, but you know, basically you're a one-man band and you're operating your activity and you're selling your art. If you do that, you're going to have to create a visa, which is called a profession libérale visa in France. It will have to come with a business plan, and it becomes the nature of having to achieve that continuously, because otherwise your local prefecture, when you come to renew, if you don't hit what you said on the business plan, they're going to say, hey, you can't run this as a business anymore.
So you need a business plan. Yeah.
You need a business plan, and that becomes not a hobby anymore. So if you want to do your artistic endeavor whilst it being a hobby, you can't charge for it. Okay. So this is the key part.
Okay, so there is a difference in visa if I want to be an artist in France for free and if I want to be an artist in France with
and paying or
and
charging
getting
for
paid.
it. And
Okay.
that could be like a musician. You know,
Yeah.
I quite often have the case where people love music, but they'd actually like to charge for events in music, singing, weddings, you know, or just participate in shows, etc. And yeah, you need a specific visa for that.
So what are your views on the fact that building communities in more rural areas in France?
So, well, the British, we can't avoid them.
We tried.
Yeah. Look, a lot of the expat communities started off with British and Dutch, actually, not to forget that the statistics of moving people to France
Yes.
are often just the highest volumes are still coming from Britain and from the Netherlands and also from Belgium. So tendency is those free communities speak English and have networks and infrastructures that are pre-existing. There's an awful lot of groups online, social media, Facebook, etc. Some of the feedback that I get from clients that those are maybe a bit outdated and can sometimes be quite negative, etc. So I think there is room for new social media spaces. We're looking into it really to be able to connect people. We'd love to be able to connect our clients between themselves if they had the same kind of hobbies, etc. So we're looking into how we do that. Americans buying in France, if you're watching this and you're from the US or Australia or New Zealand, you know, these are smaller communities of English speakers. But there are nonetheless, if you want to, there still are people in your, if you want to stay between people of your own country. But I think a lot of people that I speak with, and I'm probably quite well positioned, right? I speak to about 6 or 7 Americans every day looking to move to France, or people from all over in the world, for that matter. And most people want to integrate in the French cultures. They don't necessarily want to have this
American
this kind of American culture, etc. But rural towns are very welcoming of new culture. You know, that redynamizes their culture. They're curious quite often. They would really like you to be involved. In the summer, in the southwest of France, where I grew up, every single village has its fete. I don't know if you have that in Brittany.
Not really. Like we have, like it's different.
It's not the same. So in the southwest of France, at least, every small village has its fete, and it happens every weekend throughout the summer. And they have like meals. The younger people have a bar, and there's there's a night event. There's music. There's a party. And when I was young, from the age of 14 onwards, we'd go every weekend from one village to the other with like a 30-kilometer radius, I guess. And that's just part of culture. And those are great places to go and meet people, have fun. Yeah. It's a really, so don't think that if you're in the rural area, there's not lots of things going on. Quite to the contrary.
There is.
That's it. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But obviously I'm coming from the fact that I was born and grew up until the age of 20 or so, just lived in the southwest of France. So I didn't really venture very far afield, other than maybe on the Atlantic coast. But I would say don't be scared of rural towns. And there are a lot of, and I think people will really welcome you renovating properties.
They will,
and boosting the economy. So
I agree.
There we go.
Okay, thank you, Richard.
So all good reasons to move to France.
Exactly.
Thanks for listening to this, guys. And as always, if you've enjoyed it, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It means more than you might think and encourages us to do more videos just like this. If you're looking to move to France and you've got questions that maybe you felt weren't quite answered by the topics in this video, you can just go to the description box below and you can schedule a call with either myself or a member of my team to discuss and make this move to France possible for you, or maybe just discover if it's actually an option first and foremost. Again, thanks for liking. And please, if you want to or think that you know somebody that would like to move to France, go on and share this video.